So this study is the one on the forehead stronger than Flint. In Ezekiel 3:8-9. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant, which is diamond, harder than flint, have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. And the forehead of flint is unyielding boldness, steadfast determination, and the courage to stand firm against opposition. Let me tell you, talking about the don't be dismayed at their looks, when you see the eyeballs pop out, I'm going to tell you, if you ever get to witness that, and I'm not talking physical, you see it in the spirit, you won't forget it. So in Isaiah 50 verse 7, for the Lord will help me, therefore shall I not be confounded. Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be ashamed. And then John 2 verse 7, it says that the folded napkin at the head is strong for the forehead, and the garments laid not with the napkin but aside, and the napkin being folded, well, on the forehead. I know the one thing I know of about the the folding is, feeling like you're with the embracement of love that I had felt. It felt like it enveloped around you. And on a napkin, he laid aside his garment. Well, if you lay aside your garment, the white garment, he didn't come with the white garment. It started at the head, your forehead. And in a napkin with like a formal dinner, if you wad up your clothes, it means you're done. But to return, wow, the napkin being folded means you'll come back. That's wild. So in the brain, the frontal lobe is the brain's largest region, directly behind the forehead, and it drives a higher level of cognitive abilities and executive functions, planning, reasoning, and decision-making. The lobe is also a command center for voluntary motor control and houses the mechanisms behind personality, emotional regulation, and expressive language. And the key function of the prefrontal cortex is the brain's conductor, governs personality, impulse control, social behavior, and working memory. And let me tell you, a lot of people, they're not remembering how to do things. They're forgetting. It reminds me of confounding the languages of Babylon days. So the primary motor cortex is the back of the frontal lobe, and it dictates voluntary muscle movement, thought of the body, or throughout the body. And if you've ever seen somebody who doesn't, I don't want to say doesn't walk right, they walk really weird, and you're like, whoa, they have something spiritual going on attached to them. So the Broca's area typically is on the left hemisphere, typically, which means not always. It is vital for the physical production of speech and language. And then damage to this area is initiating tasks, setting goals, staying focused, erratic emotional responses, a lack of social inabilities. And this is at the temple area. of the head, and it's where you produce your language. And it's kind of freaky because I don't know if you've all been noticing, the difference with it. And then you have the awareness area, and it's comprehending language. Damage leads to fluent speech that lacks meaningful content. It's like, we call it word salad. If someone has a stroke and this area is damaged, they speak words, but there's no sense to the words. It's just words. And they're clearly spoken, but it's just like a whole bunch of different words, and it has no context and meaning. So the pars triangularis is the ability to translate multiple languages, and some people are really gifted for that. And then pars operculus is the recognizing tone of a voice. So if that's damaged, they'll hear the words, but they don't hear the tone that it's spoken. And tone can mean everything. That's why I hate text messages, because you can't hear the tone. Someone could be talking, and speaking words, but if you don't hear the tone of the context of what is being spoken, you can take things the wrong way and misinterpret it. And I've noticed here lately, a lot of people, they don't hear the tone, and when you try to speak to them and lead them, some people just absolutely reject it, and they think you're attacking them, and they become vicious, and it's like, whoa, where's that coming from? Well, there we go. So it's a little short study, and I'm sure there's more to it, but I found it interesting of what man knows, and of course, the different Bible verses, with Ezekiel and understanding it. It makes things make a whole lot more sense when you can put heaven and earth together. It's pretty neat. God's word is just like an unending circle. It's ever learning, ever expanding.